Hey y'all, and welcome to Politibrawl. My name is Brian, and Scott Jennings on the CNN panel isn't just holding his own, he's a bull in the china shop reminding CNN that J.D. Vance won the vice presidential debate. But before we dive in, I want to give a quick shout out to our great sponsors over at Colonial Metals Group. They quite literally have the cure to Bidenflation and Harris economics, but more on that later. Now, let's dive in.
For the victims of policies that he supports. Give him credit for solicitude. Look, the policies, maybe not.
I just had this thing in Minnesota. There were 8 deaths among infants who survived abortion attempts during Tim Walz's tenure as governor. It happened. They don't want to talk about the fact that it happened, but there were children.
What's the source of what I'm saying?
First of all, let me ask you a question. Since you've deeply researched this, what were the condition of these babies when they were born? What was the participation of the family?
They tried to abort the babies, and they survived the abortion, and then they died.
And you think that families casually toss them aside?
No, I think.
Tell me what their condition was, Scott. Could they have survived? And was it a case of families not wanting children to suffer when they were told that they are doomed?
Yes. Yeah.
That is the reality of the case.
That
but
seems
you know
important to me.
Here's what I will say. Keep talking about that, because when you all talk about abortion like this, it is when women and that gender gap continues to divide, not in your favor. Because women, it is disrespectful to pretend like women are making choices about abortion that is the intent to just let a baby die at 9 months. Let me finish it here. And it is dishonest for J.D. Vance to go up there and try and push that narrative. And that is what I'm saying when I said he presented well, but his policies and what he was saying was not truthful. It just wasn't. And that is why the overwhelming American people, since Roe has been overturned, you guys are not winning. You are not winning. And if you run on this issue, you will not win in November.
They're not running on this issue. They're lying on this issue. They're running on, it's up to the states, and they're running on Donald Trump's moderate position of some reasonable restrictions, rape, incest, and life of the mother, IVF support.
Can I just say something about this?
They're lying.
You are one of your frequent go-to points is Kamala Harris said this in 2019. That's her position. Donald Trump said women should be punished if they had an abortion. Why shouldn't we hold him to that? You talk about his moderate position. His moderate position has been adopted over the course of this campaign for purposes of this campaign after he put the justices on the Supreme Court who overturned Roe, who've created a crisis for women who live in 20 states in this country.
His position is moderate, and it is in line with what I think most Americans
Do you believe
want.
him when he said that women should
And I think Harris and Walz have proven they cannot discuss even a single restriction that they want.
Do you believe when he said women should be punished? Do you believe
I don't
him?
believe, and no Republican wants women to be punished.
No, but he said it.
said
Do you
it.
believe him when he said it?
And at the time, it was roundly criticized by other Republicans.
Did you believe him when he said it?
I can tell you what Republicans believe, which is
I'm just asking you what Trump believes.
I'm telling you what he's running on right now.
I know
what
he's running on right now.
Because he's running on it to win. He's not running on it because it's what he actually believes.
If I couldn't articulate a single restriction, I would attack Trump.
This is what Kamala Harris and Tim Walz believes, is that it's none of your business what women do with their body. And so stay out of our doctor's offices and stay out of our bedrooms.
Well, I guess I have to speak up for the babies. They're not here to speak for themselves. The Lord have mercy.
Whew. That is the best response I've heard in a long time when it comes to the issue of abortion. Ugh. First off, that is Ashley Allison, the one who's flippantly talking about, the wanton and unnecessary deaths of a human child for the sake of expediency. Just look at her facial expression. As a matter of fact, let's harp on that for a few moments. Not only was she so flippant about the wanton and needless deaths of human children. Remember, if you don't have the right to life, your right to property, your right to pursuit of happiness, those are starting to be less and less strong now, aren't they? So, if you are so flippant about the idea of the right to life, and then you're flippant during your whole debate here on your panel, because all this woman did was just roll her eyes and go, he's lying, he's lying, he's lying. She couldn't even look him in the eye, which means she either knows that what she's saying is untrue, or she's so arrogant as as to think of herself so superior, and how dare Scott Jennings say something that isn't just wrong, but goes against exactly what she believes. Hey y'all, I'm not exactly looking at retirement anytime soon, but my parents are, and friends of my parents are, and I'm sure either you or someone you know is looking at retirement and wondering, what do I do? How do I help prepare for this in this economy with this terrible president and with a vice president who basically coup d'etat him and is now looking to run for president herself? How do you protect against this? Well, simple. You go over to my friends at Colonial Metals Group. They quite literally have something called the Retirement Package Plan. This plan backs your wealth with gold and silver accounts. And furthermore, you will have direct access to these accounts. So you're not at the whims of Wall Street. You're not at the whims of inflation. You are in command of your own destiny. As a bonus, qualified applicants can receive up to $10,000 in free silver, plus a couple of other little goodies that they're going to package up for you, and you're going to be able to protect your wealth and your retirement. So go over to this link in the description below at colonialmetalsgroup.com or call this number 800-203-0422 and see how they can help you prepare for retirement today by backing your account with gold and silver. Don't delay your retirement, folks. Protect the money that you earned with Colonial Metals Group. They're here to help. That is arrogance or it's hypocrisy. It's probably a bit of both, knowing the kind of panelists that they have on here. And to further put some people through the mud, David Axelrod, I almost didn't recognize you. But I did recognize your constant sneer and veneer during your whole little panel. Because instead of sticking to the facts of the reality, that is, Donald Trump's rhetoric almost never matches his actions. That is the whole point of weaponizing your rhetoric. You're a leftist. You should understand how to weaponize language. Therefore, you should be able to at least know and have some intellectual honesty. When it comes to the weaponization of rhetoric, it is the same side of the coin, and you're just mad the Republicans are learning how to use the game properly. And so he's being snide, he's sneering the whole time, just wondering, well, where'd you get that source? I despise that. The whole idea that I have to give you all these extra sources just so you can have the privilege of believing me. Yeah, that is an attempt to take power over a situation, and you know what? Screw that. No, we keep on telling you that this is a major issue. We keep on telling you that you're ending human life, and you're flippant about it. And then, when we quite literally have to remind you again, Trump is a moderate when it comes to social issues. He always has, he always will be, and he hates the culture war. And if you don't understand that, you're not capable, or at least you should not be giving your opinion on a debate when Donald Trump is going to be involved in one way or another. So, J.D. Vance ultimately beat Tim Walz in the debate. It wasn't a blowout, it wasn't a knockout, but Tim Walz had some weird moments. He's getting memed up and down Facebook and Twitter, and rightly so. Tim Walz looks like kind of looks like Don Rickles, but probably on something. I don't know exactly what, but we'll figure it out eventually. But there were times where Walz looked like a deer in headlights. And man, oh man, Vance was just on point every single time. He didn't have to hit home runs. He just had to get on base. And so he did. And this panel is not happy. They don't want to admit it. So they want to pivot to the abortion debate, which was successful in 2022. And here's the short version of what happened there. There were a lot of state and local elections where there were these weirdly written laws to change part of the Constitution of certain states, and they almost all got defeated because they were so poorly worded. This is an issue of Republican legislatures not realizing that they don't quite know what they're doing. That's why I'm a huge fan. I'm a Georgia boy. I'm from the Cobb County area. I'm a huge fan of Ed Setzler, who wrote the Heartbeat Bill here in Georgia, which is one of the most airtight pro-life bills in the entire country. And that's why I love good policy and good legislation. However, the CNN policy would instead rather talk about you mind your own business when Scott Jennings is out there holding his own. And again, Anderson Cooper is doing his job. He's letting everyone talk. Mostly everyone's being civil. But they only harp on one issue. And Scott Jennings makes a simple argument. That is, abortion is the needless death of an innocent. That's typically the case. And they were not happy with that answer. He held his own, J.D. Vance won the debate, and Tim Walz is starting to get memed into oblivion. And boy, am I here for it. Folks, my name is Brian. Hope you enjoyed that segment here on PolitiBrawl. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one, and until then, y'all have a good one.